I don't know why that's stupid. Now, if you watched the previous video, probably not, because I'm relatively a new YouTuber. I made a hide and seek map for me and my friends to play on, aka that, aka this. And there's this build idea I've been sitting on for a while, a crystal cavern. It's legitimately something I've been wanting to do for so long, but I haven't gotten the chance to, through whether it be time constraints or just not knowing how to go about it. But I'd say now is about the time, given I have the motivation, and I do think it's going to be very cool. But to make a crystal cavern, you kinda need a cave, so I gotta do that. And get to it I did. I thought I'd go for a mine shaft. But immediately I realized an issue. I needed to pivot to the outside, because this is gonna be the spawning area. I wanted it to look good. So I decided to do a tree, as you can see here. This time it's not based on anything specific, because I just wanted to do one. So I thought it'd be cool. And then I had to build up the terrain a lot more, because I wanted to make it feel like you were in this little crevice in like a mountain range, under these really treaded on roads and stuff. And of course, maybe taking some moss from the previous area to kind of feel like maybe you're in a similar area. But this time around, I also really wanted to darken the mountains as well, allowing for harsher shadows, but also actually allowing for a lot lighter tips and tops. Oh my god, look at this. I definitely went harder on the shading here, because compared to the other mountains in other place, they kind of work more as a background element, but since these ones you're really up close to, I kind of had to shade them a lot more. Especially with having like those like ultra bright highlights at the top where the stone kind of cuts from the tuff. To kind of just give a difference in material, in a sense, is why I went for tough this time. As well, got a little mineshaft entrance. It doesn't really go anywhere yet, other than a natural cave. I'm probably gonna make my own cave, honestly. But other than that, what this area needs is a way to keep players in. Because this little area here was designed as a backdrop, not something for players to actually kind of go to, as you can kind of see here. It's just a cutoff. So I was thinking, maybe these mines are abandoned, cut off from society for who knows what dangers lay inside. And I was thinking of making a gate out of wood with, I would say, a chain, you know, bars or whatnot. Now, I know chains together, players can walk through that. I have a counter, barrier blocks, so they're not getting through. So now to really start, I kind of like to pick where on the axis of these rocks I kind of want to put it. So I'm thinking something more possibly darker, most likely, yeah, deep slate. I just have to choose the more brick style, I'm thinking, because that would stand out against the more natural looking blocks. I'm thinking if they come in like this, and I block it off with something else here, it'll give these like an actual more feel of like, okay, these are like hinges or something. And these sides are just kind of like more or less actual walls per se. But what to block them off with here, I don't know yet. Probably an actual wall block to kind of make it a little thinner. I'm thinking tough, particularly. Polished tough. And then I'm gonna do this here. I'm gonna do this. Yeah, now that feels like it's two separate pieces. I'm also thinking is this actually needs to go up and like curve downwards. So it's not as generic. It's like more of a curved spine. Yeah, that looks like a nice little gate. So next up is to kind of just texture it, I'd say, or add a little bit more block variety. I feel like I should have something else in the center instead of the chain to kind of indicate, okay, this is like the edge of the gate, or like for like one side of it at least. So for that, I might actually just go with the stripped again. Yeah. And then I'm probably actually going to swap out the dark oak here, because it's just because the time of day is going to remain the same for this map. So it would make sense that this is not under any shadow. Because it's just kind of not. I might just put anvils on the top bit to help, like, kind of like as like a little post or something. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do anvils. So like here, here, oh, and here. Oh, I like that actually. Yeah, okay, awesome. Next up, I wanted to do something a little more with this middle column here. I think it just needs something... I need to drink some water. I just think it needs a little bit of a different block, so probably just some more spruce planks, honestly. And I would say this gate's almost done. I'm just gonna add some buttons for, like, say, a little bit of finish or something. Like, extra little detail. I want to make dark oak. Even though that one's probably actually just not even gonna, I mean, barely. It'll probably get up to right here. Yeah, and I think the gate's complete. Now, the next task at hand is right beside my head there. The tunnels are probably going to be a lot. So I'm just gonna do another time lapse and voiceover as the previous one. So for the moment, these tunnels are super linear. But eventually, I want to make them a lot more windy and all kind of branch off but lead to the same place to kind of create a little bit more of an open world feel while still leading to the same area, obviously. And then for this main area, I wanted to put a bunch of cool scaffolding to really show the mining operation that was going on here. Well, aren't I happy with the current progress? Look at this. I love how I just kind of like highlighted the main little area here coming out of the little thingamabob with the mine shaft part, scaffolding going up the little stone pillars here. And what are, they mining? Well, I was thinking crystals, of course. Mostly inspired from Crystal Peak from Hollow Knight is what I'm thinking for the style of crystals to go for. And where I want to start is the one big crystal in the center. Because as to why I have not shaded like any of these tunnels so far, is because the crystals would be giving off their light. So I would need to have all the crystals implemented, which would then influence all the shadows and everything of the caves. I'm falling quite a lot, aren't I? But yeah. So, until I get the crystals in, I can't really shade everything. And why not just start with the big crystal? And would you look at that? The big crystal. I was trying to just figure out how to go about it. I started with glass and frog lights, and it's just like, no. And so I've just went for a more solid look. So I've got, terracotta, wool, and pink concrete, of course. But I also actually found that the cactus flower really works well for the smaller crystals, as the tiniest bit of green is barely visible. And it just matches up well. And then, of course, using light blocks to actually give them a little bit of a light source to make them just glow a little bit from when I place them around. But I am honestly, like, really happy with that. Because from up here where you enter, it's like, it's just perfectly highlighted. So the next step really is to just continue placing crystals along the walls, down the other caves, tunnels, everywhere. And then once that's done, it'll be time for shading. So possibly a crystal here, crystal here, crystal here, and a crystal here. And now that crystals are everywhere, I'm going to shade the cave, because that needs to get done. And now for today's sponsor, my dog. Hi, buddy. Hi. I didn't feel like doing another time lapse, but look at this. Everything is shaded. It's not all just boring stone no more. You can see I used concrete powder, tough, cobbled deep slate, all over the place. And And the concrete powder, honestly, I was tempted to have it as the top to just like indicate, okay, this is just the same ground, but this contrasts a lot better against the crystal, so I just kept it the powder. And now you're probably asking, well, is it just this big area that is, textured and everything? Well, no, I textured all the tunnels too, using stone, andesite, and even light gray wool for wherever there are lanterns, as you can see here. As well, I've added more branches off, branching paths off into different directions here or there, to kind of just like give people more of an option on places to hide. And of course, in no world am I showing everything, for that would be spoilers, as I definitely want to save some spots for, say, the actual hide and seek video I'm thinking, to kind of create some anticipation. And with this, since the map is almost done, all that's really left to add is just hiding spots, or than that I've probably already put around the place. But for actually adding the hiding spots, I don't think I'm going to include that in the video. So although this map isn't done, and there's definitely more things I can do to bring it to life, those are things that I am going to save for the future. So everyone have a good day, a good night, and thank you for joining me. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.